I think it's different in terms of being multi-pronged. I mean, it's certainly a major component of it is expanding the size of the police force, but it also includes addressing the retention issues regarding compensation, step increases, and candidly, the challenge that police officers have had regarding workers' compensation, which your station has been interested in and citizens across Atlanta have been interested in. So we're going to have a multi-pronged approach, but I will be candid with you. I believe that the most significant step you can make, aside from restoring leadership at the police force and restoring the compensation needs of the police officers, is to put more officers on the street. So just yesterday, when this conversation in the most recent press conference of the mayor took place, the first part of the effort was we're going to put more police on the street. And I believe, candidly, that Atlanta's police force is simply too small. So we've added 100,000 residents since 2002. At the same time, we've added about 300 men and women to the police force. Our officer force right now is a little more than 1,600. The Atlanta Police Foundation, a nonpartisan, non-political entity, released a report in February of 2009, not long ago, saying that our city would need 750 new police officers by the year 2012 or 2013. Candidly, I said that in August. I had been talking about adding those kind of police officers since August. So what I am saying is this: we just passed a 3 mil tax increase. When you're talking about how you're going to pay for it, where you're going to get the resources, I think that leading is about making decisions. I would redirect monies from the 3 mil tax increase, candidly, for more police and firefighters, because I believe that that is the priority that ought to be most prevalent on the mind of a mayor of a city.
Okay. How many police officers are you targeting to have?
What I would like to do is to add 750 officers over a 4-year period. So let's be clear so no one thinks I'm Pollyanna or have some pie in the sky notion. In 2 years out of the last 4, Atlanta added more than 175 police officers. So the notion that you can't recruit that number and bring them in is simply false. The challenge, of course, has been in the area of retention, because we've had a real problem with paying them and providing adequate benefits. So when we implemented the furlough, because the council refused to authorize any funding for additional police in the 09 budgets, where they voted 15-0 against that, that created a situation where you had a year-long set of furloughs. So police officers lost 10% of their take-home pay. At the same time, their health benefits went up 8%. And by the way, they were given a bill of $35 a month to park their cars. So those kinds of things cause officers to go to other municipalities. And as you know, we've had a number of new cities that have joined the region as a result of the new cities in Fulton County and now in DeKalb. And so officers have an outlet to go get better pay and better benefits. So we've got a problem on both ends. We've got to recruit the number of officers that we need, and then we've got to retain them. And I think that I know how to do that.
Let's talk about the furloughs. Would you have allowed officers to be furloughed?
Never. Not under any circumstance.
So what is your response to the furloughs that the city of Atlanta had?
My response is that public safety is the number one priority by the charter of the city of Atlanta, and as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the obligation of the city and its leadership. So I flatly stated at the time, and I'm stating now, that I will not ever furlough public safety officers. But we need to be very clear. The mayor submitted a budget last year and said that if I don't receive some form of increase, officers in police and fire are going to be furloughed. The council rejected that 15-0. They didn't offer an amendment to pay for police and fire, which they had the capacity to do. They offered 0. So as a result, furloughs were put in place for a year. And criminals can read too. So they knew that any given day, furloughs were taking between 125 to 150 police officers off the streets of Atlanta. At the same time, it had a devastating impact on the morale of the officers because officers who are already underpaid in the region were receiving a 10% pay cut while they were seeing their colleagues in surrounding jurisdictions not have to suffer under furloughs. But there was an affirmative vote that caused the furloughs in the city of Atlanta to have to occur.
What about special forces? Beyond just getting more officers on the streets, is there a plan with what to do with those officers that you can kind of qualify, quantify?
Well, I want to be candid. What I want to do is to let the new police chief that I will select run the police force. So I don't want to try to play at being a police officer. But what I'm going to do is to find out what are the resources that the police and fire department of the city of Atlanta need in order to do your job, and I'm going to work to redirect revenue from other areas within the municipal government to police and fire. And I'm going on the record telling you that's what I'm going to do right now. As you know, I did not support the 3 meal tax increase, but I do believe that nothing is more sacred than keeping this city safe, and I'm going to keep this city safe.
You brought up an interesting topic, which has been of controversial nature with regards to the current chief, who does say he's going to leave when the mayor leaves. Have you already started considering candidates for that position?
Absolutely not. I think that that would be presumptuous. What I do know is that we're going to have a new chief. The chief has announced his retirement, and I'm going to select a new chief. It is my preference to hire a woman or man from within the city of Atlanta's police department. I think it's important that officers know that they can join the force and work their way up and ultimately become chief. That's going to be the kind of woman or man that I'm looking for to lead the force and restore morale. But what I'm not going to do right now is to play politics around the leadership of the police department. The chief has announced that he's retiring. We have less than 90 days to the election of a new mayor. So we will be moving forward with the process of selecting a new leader very quickly. And I believe that it would cause instability to start making inquiries about who the next chief will be right now.
Anything else you want to add about crime?
Nothing. That we have to turn the tide of violence in this city. It is damaging everything that Atlanta is known for. And I would also add to those individuals who talk about the fact that statistics in our city is down, I want to make it crystal clear. We do not have a perception problem. We have a real problem here. And while our numbers may be down, and that may be valid, the nature of violence in our city is changing. I grew up in this city, and I will share this with you. What used to be a broken window and someone stealing change out of your car, the nature of that crime has now changed, and it's someone walking up to you with a weapon. So I think that we cannot ignore that violence in our city has escalated, and we're going to have to deal with it in a muscular manner.